Hello, everyone, and welcome to our August 17th, 2026 regular council meeting. I will call this meeting to order with a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence as we humbly ask for wisdom, clarity, and discernment in the work before us. May we be guided in service to this community with fairness, integrity, and responsibility. If you could please join me for the pledge. Thank you very much. I'm going to join you guys down there, and we're going to have a swearing in for our newest committee members. Okay. Sit on? Okay. I'm going to keep this at where you guys can repeat after me. If you would please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I am duly qualified according to the Constitution of this state to exercise the duties of the office to which I have been appointed, and that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge the duties thereof, and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and of the United States. So help me God. Thank you. These two amazing people are now members of our BOZA and our Stormwater committees. So thank you so much for volunteering for your time. We do appreciate it, and I know that you'll make a great impact for us. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members.
If you get, hold on just a second, let me introduce what you're going to present to us, please.
Go ahead.
So Theo is part of our planning commission, and he has been working on a benchmark presentation for our city, which will include some really amazing information as to how our city stacks to other cities in our area, measuring several criteria: population, density, size, et cetera. So go ahead, Theo. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I just have a quick presentation on some of the findings from this report. It shouldn't take too much time. Feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. Let's see. So the following report shows a comparative analysis of Tega and other cities around South Carolina that have a population around 10 to 20,000. Apart from Clover and Fort Mill, Clover is a little smaller, Fort Mill is a lot larger. Tourism-based cities like North Myrtle Beach and cities that didn't collect property tax, like Irmo, were not included in this report. So I used budget reports, comprehensive plans, census.gov, the Municipal Association of South Carolina, individual municipal websites and local newspapers to get the data for this report. And in some categories, information cannot be obtained, but it's stated on each slide. So the first slide is population. We are the dark green with the white font. The light blue is the other cities in the county. We have Clover, York, and Fort Mill. Rock Hill was not included due to Rock Hill's size. It just skewed the information, the data. So we are at 14,457 population for 2025. The average is 14,831, so we're right there. You can see Fort Mill is a lot larger with 38,000. York's at 10,000, and Clover's at 7,000. So the size is 4.59 square miles, so we're second smallest on the list. Clover is 4.55 square miles. We're under the average of 10 square miles. Fort Mill has everybody beat, obviously. They're at 19.64, at least in the county. But population per square mile, we're actually the highest. We have 2,859 people per square mile. That's above the average of 1,518. So as far as education of poverty level, this graph, so the bars that are mostly red, that's the poverty level. That's percentage of the population living below the poverty level. And then the orange bar is education level. It's 25-year-olds or older that have a high school diploma or higher. So we're on the far right. We have the smallest poverty level, that small green bar. We're under 5%. And we have an education level of 25-year-olds, high school diploma or higher, of 98.3%. So I think we have the second highest. I think James Island has the highest education level, 99.1%. You can see direct correlation there. Fort Mill is close to us as well. So the next 3 slides are just land use. We have residential. We are sitting at 45.8%, so 45.8% of all of TEK is residential. Clover has the highest percentage of 60, and we are a little above the average of 42.3%. As far as commercial mixed use goes, we are second lowest. We have 4.5%, with Fort Mill being at 4.1%. We are under that average of 11.5%, but that will go up once the Grove is finished and built. As far as open space and recreation, we are the highest on the list of the data I could find, at least. We are at 35.7%. Fort Mill comes in second at 34.2%, but they do have Ann Springs, which adds a lot to that. Parks and Rec facilities, we're actually the second highest. We have 18 city-run parks and recs. We are higher than average of 11. York and Fort Mill have 10, and Clover has 8. This next slide just shows owner-occupied homes. We're at 86.6%. We're 86.6%, second highest. Fort Mill is at 83.4%. We are way above the average of 64.8%. As far as accommodations and food service sales, we are the lowest at 12 million, way under the average of 64 million. Fort Mill, obviously, largest city, they have 105 million. Total budget, ours is $25,891,126 for the year 2025, under the average of 38 million, and under both Fort Mill, York, and Clover. So we have a lower budget. Property tax revenue, we were at 8,853,780. The average is 6 million, so we are above the average, but again under Fort Mill, but above York and Clover. Property tax revenue percent of total budget, we're at 34%. So property tax revenue made up 34% of the total budget in 2025. A little above the average of 25%, and York is close behind us at 33.6. Full-time employees, we had 138, above average of 161, and way under Fort Mill, which is at 317, but again, they are larger. Payroll, salaries, which is just salaries and wages, we were at 5,531,484,000, or 5,531,484. Under the average of 8 million, and Fort Mill has 18 million on that. Payroll's percentage of our budget is 23%, under the average of 24%, and pretty close to Fort Mill, which is at 25%. So this is an interesting slide, median home values versus median household income. We were sitting at, on the far left, we're 529,200. As far as median home value goes, and the median household income in TEK is 142,000. Way above the average was 293,000 for median home values and 73,000 for median household income. Close to us in third place was Fort Mill at 487 for medium home values and 121 for medium household income. Our millage rate was 86, under the average of 95, so pretty low and lower than both York and Clover. Annual city taxes on medium home value, we had 1,820, which the medium home value was 529, so it makes sense. It is a little above the average of 1,145, above Fort Mill, Clover, and York. But the percentage of the median household income to pay property tax was 1.3%, the lowest. Well, we're tied with Fort Mill, but under York and Clover, and a little under the average of 1.5%. So pretty much in conclusion, all of that is to say that TEK has the highest population density among similar-sized cities, while also maintaining the lowest poverty rate, nearly the highest percentage of owner-occupied homes, and some of the highest education levels. TEK also offers the most open space and rec areas, along with the second highest number of parks and rec facilities, all despite operating with a relatively small budget. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
Thank you. That's really good perspective. I appreciate that.
No problem. I know it was a lot of data, but thank you. Thank you for your time.
That's a great job.
And council, and for anybody here watching along, that presentation is on our website, on our development services page. If anyone wants to take a look there, so we already have that up on the website.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear, is it from you, Charlie, for the financial report?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. So this financial report is actually our year end for our 9-month budget that we just transitioned out of. So this is as of your June 30th numbers. In the left-hand column, you'll see what the budgeted numbers were, both by fund or by department, as it were on this slide, along with what our actuals are. So our general fund revenues came in overall at 106%, so higher than we had forecasted. Our expenses came in at 95% overall, which is fantastic. Two reasons behind that. One is from the very diligent work of our department heads throughout the fiscal year, but also, as council will recall, we were trying to forecast what a 9-month budget would look like. So there were definitely some areas where we thought the expense was going to be higher as we were putting those budgets together, and they didn't get to that standpoint, which is good. So again, you ended up with 106% of your revenues, and then only 95% of your general fund expenses. Council is up, but that is primarily and almost strictly due to the special election that we had to have. But your other departments fall in line very, very well, with court coming in at 97% of its forecasted budget, admin at 90%, development services at 94%, public works at 95%, law enforcement PD at 95%, fire at 89%, parks and recreation at 93%, and then our non-departmental where trash collection and bond payments and things of that nature that aren't department specific came in at 102%. So overall, general fund budget performed very, very well. As far as our other funds, Beach and Swim Center, which that's the one fund that kind of gets a little bit weird with the new fiscal year. The rest of them, not as much so, but we start a new fiscal year in the middle of the pool season. But it did come in at 101% of forecasted revenues and 85% of projected expenses. So it finished off that 9-month budget very well. Our water and sewer department, TCUD, at 91% of revenues and 90% of expenditures. So it finished, the water and sewer revenues were where we missed on the target on that 9-month projection, and that's why you're seeing those revenues down. Stormwater revenue came in at 106%. Big reason for that is work from Mr. Markroff, Theo, who was just up here before you. He and Nick helped Bob and I and spent a lot of time identifying lots that the county was not going to charge that needed to be charged for the stormwater fees. So we're able to capture those very, very well. So That came in at 106%. Expenditures at 85%. Working on trying to get a project out for bid that we had hoped to have done last year. So hopefully in the next month or two, we'll be moving forward with that one. But overall, your stormwater budget performed very well. Your events fund came in at 98% on revenues and 97% on expenses. And then your hospitality tax came in at 109% on revenues and 89% of our expenditures there. So overall, I mean, yes, it was just a 9-month fiscal year as we transitioned into our new fiscal year, but all budgets did perform very, very well over the course of that 9-month period. There'll be some adjustments that'll be made by the auditors when they come in September. They'll be here in a couple of weeks, but nothing extravagant. You won't see a whole lot of movement, but there'll definitely be some movement in the numbers. For instance, payroll, the first payroll of July, a lot of it is the actual days worked are in June, so they'll make some adjustments to that payroll and move some. They'll as they wrap up our year end with the audit, they'll move some of those funds back into the June calendar, if you will, and show those expenses there. So be happy to answer any questions anybody may have right now.
Charlie, you had gone over why stormwater was coming in higher on revenue, but can you just give us a brief overview of why the TCUD budget came in below expected revenue?
Primarily for water and sewer. Those two revenue items, basically water sold and then the sewer charges, overcalculated what those were going to be for that 9-month period.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? Any other questions?
No questions, but I'd just like to say that these are impressive numbers, and it's a testament to the discipline and the dedication of our city manager and our department heads and the city council. This is fantastic. I know a 9-month budget's hard to forecast, so good on everybody for great performance throughout. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I like that we had money to spend or to save at the end of it.
Yes, ma'am. We carried forward a good balance to help pay for these lean months. When I say that, that's going to be for any city. Yeah, this is the time of year where your expenditures are still your expenditures, but you're not getting the revenues that you typically get at other times of the year. So as you head into September, October, November, those are the tighter months, if you will. And then we start collecting tax revenues, and they really start coming in December, January, big, probably our largest check in February. And then you start to get more of your permit fees and things like that as you roll into spring, and then business license obviously picks up primarily in May with renewals, and then the check we get from the state on business license comes in June. So that's when the cash comes in. Springtime and early summer for sure.
Thank you. And I think you're up next again with the city manager's report.
Sure. All right. So I'll try to be brief. The entire report will obviously be on the website in the next day or so. But the annual wildlife management spotlight survey on deer will be conducted in the evening hours, the first part of September. We'll be doing 2 nights, weather permitting. And then would like to welcome Darwin Peraza, who is our newest IT specialist working under Janet. And Jeremy, where are you at, Jeremy? You still here? There he is. Stand up, Jeremy. Take a bow. Jeremy is our new communications and community engagement director. Just got started with us. So welcome to both of those gentlemen. We're glad to have them as part of the team. In development services, staff will be hosting a virtual continuing education session with Fort Mill for the planning and the Board of Zoning Appeals members on August 20th at and that's going to be led by Charlie Barano with the Municipal Association. Nick, and right now I have it on my schedule, we will be attending the COGS Workforce Housing Study presentation on August 26th over in York as they unveil their findings, and we'll report back to council from there as we get information from them. Alderwood, which is the newest of our developments. It's down at the corner of Dam Road and New Gray Rock Road. They have implemented all their stormwater control measures and are able to fully proceed with their grading work. And that development, just as a reminder, will consist of up to 56 single-family homes in there. The Grove staff is currently reviewing architectural plans for their anchor commercial building. Final plats are required from the developer prior to issuance of any of those building permits. So we're still waiting on that, and we may be getting phase 2 plats in here before too long. So they are moving right along. Permitting activity over the past month in that department, 101 total permits issued, 11 residential certificates of occupancy, and 3 new home permits issued over the past month. Moving right along into our PD, and if you're on social media, you saw these numbers get posted today, but for July, they had 503 calls for service, 38 incident reports, with an average response time of 3 minutes and 52 seconds, so they're still staying under that 4-minute response time. Property crimes, we had 5, 3,134 property checks, and 90 you could have been victim notices were issued out by our officers. We had 0 crimes against persons, and they engaged in 1 community event and had 63 community outreaches over the month. Traffic enforcement, we had 749 stops. Of that, 196 citations issued with 545 warnings issued. Parking citations, they issued 33, and they worked 3 vehicle collisions. And we still have some DUI arrests, unfortunately. Folks, please call an Uber, call a friend, get a designated driver. But we had 4 DUI arrests and 14 other custodial arrests. Continuing on with PD, they, like the rest of us, want to welcome all the students, some of which I see we got here with us tonight. Welcome back to school, and welcome back to all of our staff with the school districts at both elementary schools and middle school, and obviously over at Fort Mill High School where all of our TK kids go. But just a shout out to everybody else, monitor your speed in the school zones during the morning and afternoon commute. And any of you that are attending tonight, just as fair warning, watch your speeds. TCPD has given out 1,532 you could have been a victim notices compared to 752 at this time last year. Everybody, please take a few extra moments, secure your valuables, lock your cars, secure your property, make sure your doors are locked, your garage doors are closed, and things like that to help prevent from becoming a victim. Last with PD, the Camp Cadet Golf Tournament will be held on October the 9th. If you're interested in learning more about becoming a sponsor or playing in the tournament, please visit the PD page on our website or their Facebook page. Find lots of useful information there. Fire department had a total of 304 calls for service. 144 of them were emergency calls for service. 160 were non-emergency calls for assistance. And obviously no fire drills covered during the month of July at school, but imagine those will be coming back up here pretty soon. As far as the community engagement, which is big with the fire department, they and the police department hosted their quarterly public safety meeting a couple of weeks ago. Folks really would like to get more people to come out. We always get questions about what's going on in law enforcement, what's going on in fire. Please come out to their public safety quarterly meetings. They're typically held in the training room at PD. There's lots of space if folks want to come out and hear the good things coming out of those departments. The fire department, as you probably saw on our social media, hosted a spray down, a back-to-school spray down. It was very well attended, a lot of support from the families and the kids who were out there. It was very hot, it was very well received. And then obviously they were able to interact with a lot of our residents and visitors at the last summer concert series that we had. Training hours, they've completed 362 and a half training hours in the month of July, bringing their total to 3,500 hours on the year. September 11th memorial ceremony. You'll start seeing some stuff about that coming out very soon. This year we're going to, last year we did it over at the fire station. This year we're going to have it over at Catawba Park at the amphitheater. This is a big one. We're anticipating a lot of folks coming out. So we want to make sure we had ample parking. If you're not able to come over there, and you want to go over to the Memorial Gardens, you're more than welcome to do that as well, and observe that moment of silence. We're going to begin our program out at Catawba Park at 8:30. Chief Hasty is working very diligently on a fantastic program for that. And again, more information and details will be sent out that here in the next week or so. Let's see, Parks and Recreation, fall sports is, registration is officially wrapped up and practices have begun. So if you haven't driven by any of the ball fields lately, you've probably missed it, but there's a lot of kids everywhere for sure. So this year, pleased to report that we had 1,010 registrants in baseball, softball, and flag football, and then another 1,218 in our soccer program. So that's a grand total of 2,228 participants just for this fall. Our Parks Rec staff is putting the finishing touches on the landscaping renovations over at Windsong Park. It's looking beautiful. Great work by those guys. And I know we've had some pictures out there on their Facebook page, so we'll definitely looking forward to sharing the finished product. Mark your calendars, September 26th is the Catawba Fest, and that's right around the corner. So September 26th out at Catawba Park. Ms. Hasty, who is our events manager, is still accepting arts and crafts vendor applications through September 1st. So if you're an arts and crafts vendor and you want to have a booth out there, get your application in. You can find that on our website along with all the information about Catawba Fest. Public Works and Stormwater, like everybody else, they've been extremely busy over the past month. As you probably saw, they were able to get 324 sidewalk remediation, hazard mitigation repairs done throughout the city. It totaled just over 1,026 linear feet. And by being able to mill a lot of those edges, it's estimating that we saved about just over $107,000 just by shaving those down versus full panel replacement. So great job there by that team. They've repaired 2 catch basins and cleaned all stormwater inlets throughout the city. They've inspected stormwater outfalls in Amberwoods and Windhaven, as well as all city-owned stormwater retention areas. And they've completed video inspections of stormwater pipes on 4 other streets. TCUD is still moving and grooving with their water treatment plant upgrades and rehabilitations. So at treatment plant 2, it has been placed back online. So for the most part, construction, everything is done down there. Engineers are working on a different plan for the new blowers that were installed to help with the noise that is coming from there. I've got temporary fix up now that has drastically reduced it, but engineering is working on revising those plans to get it back to where all the way down to where it needs to be. And work has now begun over at wastewater treatment plant 3. So move through that and we can wrap that up here probably by late September, early October is what the goal is, and weather permitting. And Mayor and Council, that concludes my report unless anybody has any questions at this time.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Moving on to the next item, which is committee and commission reports. I'm going to start with Councilmember FOLTZ and have you finish your 2 and then move on from there.
No update for the parks and events. We'll be discussing that in a little bit.
Okay. Brian?
Thank you. The Planning Commission met this month on August 3rd. There was a quorum. The major discussion was the beautification overlay for the Planning Commission. And they did a lot of research about cities of similar size of TGK and what we could potentially put in place here in TGK for the beautification. 3 different things they were talking about: lot and parcel protection, wording about specific combining lots, house size limits, things of that nature. And these are just discussions. Nothing has been put into place yet, but just discussions. The second one was beautification itself, just, you know, what does the house look like? The windows, the garages, limiting the heights of the homes, miscellaneous things of that nature. And then the third thing was preserving tree canopy in the landscaping in the area. So if you remove a certain tree, you have to replace it with a similar type of tree. So they just did a lot of talking like that. They had a whole bunch of homework to go off and do some more research of things that they want to see within this beautification overlay and really focus on it being, having flexibility and balance in that area. So that's it.
Thank you. Heather?
Thank you. So Stormwater has not yet met. Welcome back on board, Lauren. I'm glad to see you sworn in. So we will be working to set up our next meeting, hopefully in September, in the coming months, and get that restarted. And then for art jury, the same. We had some openings that created a transition issue for quorum, so we're working with staff to get a meeting set up so we can continue working on the project that was brought for art jury. So we will update again, hopefully at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. And I think that's it. Did you have anyone else?
No, the EDC didn't have a meeting this month.
Okay.
Yep,
All
they'll meet
right,
again
thank
in
you. That's
September.
what I was looking at you for. All right, next item is public comments. I don't have a sign-up sheet, so we don't have
Nobody signed up.
any public comments that are, anyone that has signed up for public comments. I will take a second to welcome all of our students here, and if someone could just tell me what it is that brought you here real quick. Okay, well, I hope that I hope we give you what you're looking for. Yes, that you can write your report. Thank you very much for being here. All right, moving on to our approval of minutes for our July 20th, 2026 regular city council meeting. If I could have a motion to approve the minutes as they've been presented, please.
Madam Mayor, members of council, motion to approve the regular city council meeting minutes for July 20th, 2026.
And a second? All those in favor? Aye. Carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, next item is unfinished business, and that is consideration of second reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 2, Article 4, Division 2 of the city's code as it relates to Parks and Events Committee. This is our second reading. Could I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, members of council, I make a motion to approve the reading of an ordinance to amend the city's code, Chapter 2, Article 4, Division 2, as it relates to the Parks, Recreation, and Events Committee.
And a second?
Second?
All right, any discussion on this?
I would like to say this, we're finally to a point now, I know questions have come up about the Parks, Recreation, and Events Committee. So this is a milestone of ours, so finally we're restructuring the organization of the committee and the leadership to align with the other committees that we have. So now that we've reached this point, we're looking forward to making progress and doing some great things for the city, so stay tuned.
Thank you. I know that there's a lot of people that are very interested in getting involved and participating, so I'm glad that this is carrying it forward. All right, so without any further comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
That carries unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to new business, consideration of awarding a bid for professional HVAC preventive maintenance and repair services for the Glennon Center and restaurant facilities.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Members of council, so in accordance with the city's procurement code, we did put out a request for bids. It was published on July 15th, 2026, and bids were accepted on August 5th of 2026. There are 5 companies that bid on the project, with United Mechanical coming in as the lowest responsive bidder, and we would recommend them to council at this time.
Okay. Could I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor and members of council, I make a motion to award the bid for professional HVAC preventative maintenance and repair services for the Glennon Center and restaurant facilities.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I just want to say thank you to the staff for the very good packet you put together for us when we were looking at all all the factors for this contract, because obviously with the maintenance one, I don't know for the public, if you don't know, we have 21 air conditioning units
There's a lot.
throughout the facilities here.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a pretty big task. This is a pretty big bid. So I appreciate you breaking it down by response time, service hours. It was a very comprehensive bid, and I felt that it really gave us a chance to factor in all those different variables when making our decision.
Thank you. Anyone else with comments or questions? Charlie, I had asked about the requirement for the 3 references, and that was something that staff was working through.
The staff has contacted references, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And that will be provided as part of it before it goes to actual signage.
I mean, there were phone conversations, but we can put something together for you, yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so all those in favor, if there are no further questions or comments?
Got to get a motion.
Oh, sorry. There we go. If I could have a motion, please. We've already done the motion.
You are correct.
Thank you.
It's my fault. We have a motion and a second. That is my fault.
All right, so now, if I could please have all those in favor.
Aye.
All right, that carries unanimously. Thank you. Charlie, you cannot confuse me more than I already can be, all by myself. All right, we are going to move on to council comments. And Councilmember FOLTZ, if you would start us, please.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So I'd like to thank everyone for attending tonight's City Council meeting, those in person and those online. As always, we appreciate your engagement and your participation in your local government. That's important. I would like to recognize a special guest that walked in. Representative Jackie Terrabiel. She is our House District 66 representative for Fort Mill and Tega. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. We appreciate it. Okay, let's see. So I also want to echo that now that schools are back in session, I'd like to wish all of our students, our parents, our educators, support staffs, a great school year ahead. And again, be mindful of the kids walking to bus stops, walking to schools, so be careful. Congratulations, Lauren and Dirk, on your appointment to the BOZA and Stormwater committees. Welcome. We appreciate your service to our community. I'd like to thank, so last week we had some distinguished guests that visited TK. So I want to thank Chief Hasty and the TK Fire Department. They hosted our State Attorney General, Alan Wilson, and our District 15 State Senator, Wes Clymer. They did a site visit to Fire Station 1. So Chief Hasty, along with several of the firefighters that were on duty that day, answered a lot of questions. They highlighted some of the great accomplishments, the great training, the credentials, their impact on public safety. And so I wanted to thank Chief Hasty and all the members of the fire department for representing TK. I think that Attorney General Wilson and Senator Clymer especially enjoyed climbing up on top of the ladder truck. They got a tour, and based on the smiles on their faces as they looked down, I think they really enjoyed that, so thank you. Let's see. I would like to, one last thing. So September 11th, so we're going to have our ceremony here in TKK. There's also an event occurring in Fort Mill, so the Fort Mill 1013 Club, fantastic organization. So they're headquartered in Fort Mill, but we have a lot of members represented here in TKK. So they're an organization of retired police officers, first responders, retired military, and so their mission is to help police officers and their families in need. So they're putting on a big event, and this will be at the St. Philip, St. Philip Neri Catholic Church in Fort Mill. So this will be on September 12th. It's a Saturday. And so this is going to raise funds for police officers and their families in need. And so it's a great event. So for those that are able to make it, we would love to have you come out and participate. It's a 5K. You can race, you can run, you can walk, you can ruck march, you can volunteer, or otherwise support this great event. So I look forward to seeing as many of you out there as we can. I'll be running with my family. This will be our 3rd year in a row, and we really look forward to it. It's a great event. And especially this being the 25th anniversary of 9/11, it's very, very impactful. So, and with that, Madam Mayor, thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you. Councilmember Bryan.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, residents that are in attendance this evening, and also thank you for the ones that are watching online. Special shout out to the Fort Mill High School the government class that you guys are here. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. I know you guys have to do it, but but you want to do it at the same time, right? And then my nephew who's here in that class as well. So I want to give him a special shout out as well, Campbell. Congratulations to those of you that were sworn in this evening for the committees. Thank you guys so much for your dedication and your service for the city. It means a lot, so thank you guys so much. And then thank you to the city staff that keeps our city running smoothly every day, especially the staff that's working outdoors right now. It's really hot out there, and they are working their tails off, and it's a lot that they do, including the police department, the fire department, and everybody that's out there doing their stuff. So thank you for what you're doing. Welcome to Darren and Jeremy for the new employees that are here. And then I'd like to focus on recognition real quick. So the person that I'd like to recognize this evening has been instrumental in gathering information about the founding and the history of TGK, along with a few others. This person has put together social media pages and a website full of tons of information, from videos, its own TGK history library, and blog stories from TGK's past. And if you haven't done so, please check it out, because the history of TGK is actually pretty fascinating. And the person that I'm talking about that I'd like to recognize, who's done the majority of the heavy lifting for this project, is actually in the audience this evening. His name is Scott Miller. He's right back that way. So thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Call him out.
I kind of like that guy. Councilmember Heather.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I always try to come up with things that Jim and Brian aren't going to say before me, and you guys got like 90% of my list once again. But I have some things you didn't get. So again, thank you to our amazing city staff, as Brian said, especially out in this heat, getting turf put down, cleaning things up. Please, if you are out doing things, be safe. We have a lot of heat. I've heard some very colorful southern descriptions of the type of heat we have right now. I won't repeat them, but it's very, very hot right now. So please practice safety when you're outside. Hydrate, shade, sunscreen, whole 9 yards. If you're still going out on the water and enjoying this last month that we have, please continue to wear your life vest, practice water safety. We're still getting water rescue calls I'm hearing about, and so please continue to be mindful and safe while you're out there. The water levels are still low. We're still starting to hopefully catch up with the rain. Thank you again to our residents who are joining the committees. I look forward to working with you and Lauren in particular, my locally. If anyone is interested in art jury, I believe we still have one opening. We have a quorum, but we still have an opening. So if you would like to join the many residents who are helping with our city and art's kind of your thing, we'd love to have you. The applications are online. I'd like to thank the TGK Healthy Kids, the TGK Line Leos, and TCPD in particular for the bike rodeo they held at TGK Elementary. The first weekend of school, TCPD handed out cereal stickers, which you can get from the department. So if your kids have a bike or a scooter, you can register it. So if they leave it on the curb somewhere, instead of having to hunt through the bulletin board or somewhere online, seeing if anybody's found your kid's bike, if it shows up, they can match it to your child and notify you. And I know they still have those forms, but remind your kids to be safe with using their e-scooters, their bikes, use them properly, wear their helmet, get off and walk across the crosswalks. Our crossing guards appreciate that. And if you're a driver, please continue minding that 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. And, I know it's a change in the morning. It really only adds 30 seconds to your commute, so please do it for everyone's safety. And that is it for me.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem HYSLIP.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Police, fire, public safety, thanks for everything you do as always. The rest of the staff, I just want to give a shout out. That finance report we had tonight was wonderful. So great job on the expenses and letting us have some extra money to roll over either into the CIP or to pay off debt, hopefully, just saying. I beat that drum every time I get a chance. But thank you for all you do. Dirk and Lauren, thanks for volunteering. Appreciate it. And as Heather said, there are some vacancies, so if anybody else out there would like to come give something back to the city, join one of those committees. It's not a super time commitment, but it's very rewarding. So let's see. Next weekend, the Rotary Club, E-Rotary Club of the Carolinas, is having an inner tube regatta at the Catawba River. You can get information on their website, but if you've never heard of an inner tube regatta, you can just float an inner tube, but that's kind of boring. The goal is you build a raft out of inner tubes. So you get some PVC pipe or some wood, and you cut some inner tubes and make it aerodynamic if you're skilled at that, and you race down the river. If you're so inclined, there'll be prizes for the winners who go the fastest, who have the coolest float. But if you don't want to do any of that, you just want to float down the river, that would be awesome too. So keep that in mind, and that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. If any of you have seen the contraptions that Tom creates for our 4th of July, you know I want to see what he's going to come up with for this river thing. I won't be floating, but I'll be watching you. All right. Obviously, a shout out to our staff because you're right, they're working out there in that heat, and I have to say that our city looks amazing. Our medians, our green grass, the trimmings, all of that have really just been beautifully done, and I know that they probably are every year, but this year it just seems like it's an exceptional year. Always want to remind everyone of our chat with council opportunity. It is coming up on the 27th this month, and this month it will be Heather and Jim hosting that for us, 27th from 5 to 6 at the police station. I just gave Chief Crosby, got it. All right. And then also thank you for everyone that came to our town hall a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it was 3 weeks ago. There was about 20 residents that came, and that's a pretty decent showing for our conversations. And there were topics across the gamut. We spoke about code enforcement. We spoke about beekeeping. We spoke about pickleball. We spoke about our trails. We spoke about safety and security. We spoke about the public transportation. So those conversations, anytime that we have a chat with council or anytime that we have our town hall with the city manager and myself, they are open invitations. There is no agenda. It's any question that you want to bring to us, any concern that you want to highlight. And I will tell you that it does give us an opportunity to have conversations of what the concerns are. How do we fix something? How do we address it? What do we need to do to make those concerns better or to make them go away? There's no guarantee that we can address every single thing that comes up, but it is an opportunity for us to have those open and respectful conversations. So thank you for being there. For everyone that has reached out with questions and with kudos for those respectful conversations. I appreciate you as well. Moving on, hang on just a second. I got volunteers. They are what really sets us apart from a lot of communities, and how much you care and how much you're willing to give your time. I have seen. Some of our residents come up with entire ideas of what to do. We've seen our scouts come up with entire programs that they've put together, bridges that they've built, trails that they have fixed. So your time is certainly appreciated, and it is something that we value, and I thank you very much for providing that. A few months ago, we dedicated our city hall to Tony Terulli. The plaque is now in place at City Hall. If you are stopping by there, take a look. It made me really proud for his family and for the legacy that he built and that he has left behind. It made me proud that he was here to accept that honor. And now that plaque is up, it certainly makes it real for all of us. And that's it. Thank you so much to all of you for being here. I am going to ask for motion to go into executive session, and I need to blow up my screen so I can read what it says, so give me just 1 second. All right, I cannot pull that up. All right, I need a motion for us to go into executive session to discuss contractual matters pertaining to curbside collection and disposal of residential solid waste, RFP, legal advice, and contractual matters related to the Beach and Swim Center concessions agreement, and legal advice concerning the golf management agreement with Tega Golf Management, LLC. If I could have a motion, please.
Madam Mayor, members of council, I would like to make a motion to enter executive session for the discussion of contractual matters pertaining to the curbside collection and disposal of residential solid waste RFP, legal advice and contractual matters related to the beach and swim center concessions agreement, and legal advice considering the golf management agreement with TK Golf Management LLC.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And we'll be stepping into executive session. Thank you. We are back from executive session and moving on towards a new business consideration of allowing the beach and swim center concession agreement to enter into its extension period. If I could have a motion, please.
Madam Mayor, members of council, motion to allow the Beach and Swim Center concession agreement to enter into its extension period.
A second?
Second.
Great. Opening up for discussion. Any questions, comments? No? Okay. I would like to call a vote for all this in favor of approving extending this contract into its extension period.
Aye.
That carries unanimously. All right, next item is consideration of the First Amendment to the management agreement with the Tega Golf Management LLC. Could I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor and members of council, motion to amend the management agreement with Tega Golf Management LLC and authorize the city manager to execute said agreement.
Thank you. All right, any discussion or comments? Yep. If I could have Charlie, you and Chaplain, please go through the amendments on this.
Yes, ma'am. So, again, this is the First Amendment to the golf agreement. So the remainder of the golf agreement that's not being addressed in this amendment will stay in place as far as the terms and things like that. So the first thing that you'll see in the agreement is we've actually put some defined terms in there, specifically what the facilities are. Is that has slightly changed with moving them out to the moving the pro shop out to the old pavilion and things of that nature. So we defined those and included a Exhibit A, just so everybody's on the same page there. We did remove two sections from the agreement, and I'm going to let our attorney touch on those. The first one is Section 2D, effective termination, and then the other one was in Section 12, removing that as it related to arbitration. So, Chaplain, I'll let you cover that.
Okay, with the Section 2D, it was just a strange sentence that confused me, and I think was probably left in from another agreement, but it talked about no duties survive the agreement unless it was expressly stated, and it really wasn't expressly stated, so it was just a strange sentence. Probably would have left it in, but we're trying to clean things up. We cleaned a few other things up, and then the arbitration provision, that was paragraph 12 or section 12, and there was a section that had arbitration. You usually really don't see that in this type of agreement. Also had it in Charlotte, but more importantly, there was a separate section, 13F, that said typical language that you'd see, any dispute is within the courts of York County, South Carolina. So we just deleted the arbitration so we wouldn't have two conflicting provisions, cleaned it up a little bit. And that's just going to happen when you get long agreements. Sometimes you'll get language from one agreement that probably doesn't apply, and you just stick it in there. So we were cleaning it up while we were doing the amendment.
Other changes made with this amendment under Section 4G of the agreement, cleaning up what the services to be performed by the operator. And in speaking with TK Golf Management and Pinnacle, this really reflects what they are actually doing up here and what they have been doing. A new Section 4L, or excuse me, a new section of L added to Section 4. And this is really kind of probably the biggest thing we've added into. Now that we have the new Pro Shop and Snack Shop up and running, this just defines, one, that they, as our operator, will perform those limited food and beverage services out there, including with the beverage carts out on the golf course and that type of thing. It does limit them to prepackaged food items, sandwich items, and hot dogs, which is what they're selling, and beverage, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, and that they're open during normal business hours for the golf course. So not going to be open all night. It's not a competition with the Garrison or anything else. It's literally a snack shack with its primary focus on enhancing the golfer's experience while they're up here. Additionally to that, because of the additional duties that Pinnacle will have involved with that, they have requested, and it is in the agreement, to take the management fee, which is paid through the golf budget, from where it currently is at $5,500 per month or $66,000 per year to $7,500 per month or $90,000 per year. So a $2,000 increase per month for the additional duties that Pinnacle, as the parent company, will be taking on. Section 7B, as it relates to the incentive fee, while the incentive fee is still going to stay the same and is still capped at the $66,000. Once they cross over, I believe it's $1.15 million in revenues. We had to clean up what the year would be to reflect the new fiscal year because the agreement referenced an October 1 till September the following year. So now that 12-month calculation period shall be from July 1 of a year to the following June 30th. That's pretty much it as far as the bulk of what got changed or removed out of the amendment.
Thank you. And David, I want to say thank you for being here tonight and for presenting your perspective on specifically the management fees. I do understand, and I know that there's additional responsibilities, time and effort that goes into now running a whole separate entity for the golf course. So thank you for the patience in getting all of this put together. All right, so we've had a motion, we've had a second, now I'm calling for a vote. All those in favor of approving this amendment as has been presented to us?
Aye.
That carries unanimously. Thank you. I think that brings us to the end of our meeting at adjournment. I would like a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
And a second?
Second.
We are adjourned.
Stereo.
Should decide who got that second.